don't know who needs to hear this, but you cannot control a Libra. I'm sorry to tell you that one today, but you cannot control a Libra. Libras move at their own pace. Libras enjoy their freedom. They don't love you any less, but they enjoy their freedom. So if you think that you're over there with a remote control and you're about to control that Libra, I'm here to tell you something, baby. They are controlling you. They are behind the scenes pulling the string.
You said you're a Libra.
Yeah.
What's the most accurate trait of you as a Libra? Like the most accurate?
We're very ambitious. We love working. We love making new money. It's really hard for us to make choices. Yeah.
Hey, Cosmic Baddies. Welcome back to another episode of Chakras and Cusswords podcast. Today's episode is all about the Libra, and this is part of the astrology series, which is located on my YouTube channel of Chakras and Cusswords. The astrology series is a great place for you to check out. It talks about the history of astrology. It talks about all the zodiacs, the planets, asteroids. It gets into the energy of astrology as a whole. So today we are talking about the Libra. The Libra is known as the scales of balance. A lot of times people look at the Libra Zodiac and they think signs of harmony. They say the area of the scales. We see the Libra kind of holds that stature of balancing. The element is air. And the modality of this zodiac is a cardinal sign. It's ruled by the planet of Venus. So a lot of times we take the Libra into energies of feeling beautiful, movements of luxury. It kind of has like that whimsical placement of a lot of zodiacs that seem just a little bit more tantalizing, a little bit more glamorous, as some might say. It is actually a masculine energy. It's a yang energy. That's its polarity. So with the energy of the zodiacs, we have to remember that there's two types of polarity. There is the yin and the yang. So sometimes these zodiacs can have like a pull effect, a push and pull effect. The house that is associated with the Libra is the seventh house, the house of partnerships, the energy of where you would see contracts, marriages. Sometimes when this constellation occurs, we will see acts in the justice system, the area of judgment, the area of movement that would be kind of focused on. The Libra's birth date is right around September 23rd to October 20th. So the Libra is the zodiac before Scorpio season, which is kind of interesting because they're almost like different, very different in some aspects. One's a water sign, the Scorpio, and then one's an air sign. So I feel like the energy of this cardinal sign kind of like clears the area and gives one last stitch effort to allow presence of movement around maybe justice, beauty, and representation, a balance before the Scorpio really comes and gets centered in the area of transformation. The Libra is driven by deep desire for peace, fairness, and balance, both within themselves and the relationship. So a lot of times, if a Libra is in a relationship, they're searching for balance and like a diplomatic approach. They're capable of seeing like everything in the situation. They are a air sign. Air signs are known for that movement of the situation and bringing people together through charm and grace. I would say definitely you could feel that Venus energy about a Libra, especially like a Libra rising, maybe even a Venus in Libra, but you definitely feel that beautiful aesthetic that the Libra holds, the planet of love. Libras have a sense of style. They definitely have a magnetic aura. I feel like when we are talking about the zodiacs, some zodiacs really kind of like pull for attention. It could be subconscious. It could also be not very much self-aware, but there is like this pull for attention. It's like a lure, and the Libra has it. They love beautiful environments, refined experiences, deep emotional and artistic connections. A lot of time, a Libra is going to place the movement of their relationship as one of the top tier priorities. It makes sense. They're ruled by Venus. Why wouldn't they? They have a positive trait such as they are charming, they're fair-minded, they're socially accepted, most of the time. Libras seem to be very well in the social department. They're diplomatic, they're creative, they're romantic, they're idealistic, and they are graceful. There are definitely some shadow traits of the Libra, and we will get into them with further understanding. Like, we're really going to talk about the shadow of the Libra, because sometimes I can kind of feel how those energies play out with the Libra. The Libras crave partnerships, and that can make them a little bit indecisive. It can also make them a little bit of a people pleaser, and they kind of do not like conflict. Like, Aries is going to meet you at the door. And Aries is going to say, what the fuck? You know what? Aries is going to call you out on your shit. A Libra might. Trust me, a Libra might. But they want to avoid that conflict first. And sometimes the Libra can be seen as superficial, and I don't know if that's because of that Venus energy. You know, everything's beautiful, everybody's resilient, everybody's glamorous. But they can also be seen as passive aggressive, which I will say, I tend to, I don't know if this is like subconscious, but I tend to surround myself by air signs. No shit. Okay. Literally, I mean, most of you guys know, but like literally the main group of people that I work with are literally all air signs. And it's so weird, like so freaking weird, like just so weird. There's like 6 of us in this group of, I guess you could say, people that I work with daily, and legit all of them are air signs. I'm like, what the fuck? If they're not a Libra, they're a Gemini. It's just odd. And then my personal life, my husband's an air sign. My mom's an air sign. Her sister's an air sign. I mean, of course, like we can't avoid it, right? We don't know the zodiac of our parents. Like, couldn't you, I wish I could choose the zodiac of my, no offense, mom, but sometimes maybe my mom was a Cancer, or maybe if she was a Gemini and not an Aquarius, I would be able to have more social skills, or maybe I would feel a little bit more nourished, right? If she was a Cancer. What if my mom was a Capricorn? Maybe I'd be that career woman at like a CEO status, who knows? But we can't choose who our parents are by their zodiac, but it's just interesting that I'm just like so entwined with air signs, and I'm an air sign as well. But Libras definitely crave that partnership, whether it's like romantic, business, or friendship. Like, they love to have partnerships. They thrive when they can reflect their light through another person. And however, there is sometimes like a strong connection, it could lead them to lose themselves in the process of keeping the peace. So Libras definitely need to pay close attention to that. Also, Libras in love. Oh, honey. When I meet a Libra and they're in love, they're in big love. They're not like, oh yeah, they're okay. Like, they're like, I am in love, 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 love. And what's interesting is I literally just talked to a Leo the other day. And she was telling me that she is in love. Honey, she is in lovey love. And I said, girl, who's gotten you so smitten? And you know me, that's the first question. What's his zodiac? Girl. She said Libra, and she's a Leo. And the way she was smiling and cheesing, I was like, oh, I think she met her match. So a Libra in love, and people who are in love with Libras, they definitely feel it. They adore the idea of love. Like, they love love. And they love the connection that love brings. Libras are kind of like a social being, so they definitely like that. They like the energy of romance, candlelight music. The mental and the emotional stimulation is all about a Libra. They want to balance and have like this equality in partnerships, but they may struggle when conflict arises. Like, a Libra might actually have challenges expressing themselves, which is interesting because they're very centered off of balance. But they are definitely the best with partners who value their emotional structure. And I would also say partners who balance the energy of gift giving. I would say Libras like to get gifts, but they still maintain like a mutual respect for the most part. Now, I have heard that Libra men can be hoes. You know, that's just the rumor on the street, okay? Is a Libra man can be a hoe. I don't know many Libra men, but Libra men, from what I've heard from other women, is that Libra men can be a little bit whorish. So if you're dating a Libra man, or if you ever dated a Libra man, let me know in the comments. Was he a whore? Was he nasty? Was he a cheater? Was he just outright doing some dirtiness? Famous Libra men that I think of: Will Smith and Snoop Dogg. He's a Libra. One of my friends from like high school, she had a boyfriend and she ended up getting pregnant, and he totally like cheated on her multiple times. But this is like in high school. Do those relationships even really count? But he was her baby daddy, and it was just a horrible relationship. Like, we literally, okay, this is a story time. This is a story time of some shit that a Libra man will have you doing, or he will be doing. And I'm not mentioning no names, and I doubt they listen to this podcast. So anyways, this is a fun story time. So she was literally pregnant with his baby, and this fool was out here cheating. He worked at McDonald's, okay? Like I said, this was like, we were young. We were like 18, 19. He worked at McDonald's, and who knows? At least he had a job, right? So he worked at McDonald's. He was young. We were all young, and we drive through the drive-through, and we're in the drive-through, and the girl who literally just like, it was a weird vibe. Like, she thought he was cheating, but we couldn't prove it. Right? And he worked at McDonald's. So she thought he was cheating with somebody at McDonald's. Girl, honey, boo-boo, cosmic baddie. We go into the drive-thru. We were literally at the window, and she looks at the girl who I believe she was like taking our money. She wasn't the girl giving us the food, but she was like taking our money. And she looks at her and she goes, and we're just going to call him Toxic Libra. So she looks at the girl and she's like, that looks like the same earring that Toxic Libra has. And she's saying it to me. She's not saying it to the girl, but she looks at the girl and she looks at me and she says, that looks like the same earring that Toxic Libra man has. Okay, because we're going to name him nameless. We'll just call him TL. She said that TL has Toxic Libra, right? And the girl inserts herself into the conversation and she says, because it is. Also, like, me, girl, I'm hungry. I'm just trying to get my chicken nuggets. I said, oh shit. Like, she said, because it is like that. And I like looked at my friend, and then next thing I know, my friend's like, oh, he gave you that earring? Oh, he gave you that earring? And she's like, yeah, he doesn't want to be with you no more. You're like, And she's like, I'm pregnant with his baby. It went from, can we get some chicken McNuggets, to, girl, I'm about to jump out of this car and whoop your ass. They're literally about to fight. And then we keep driving, right? We drive out, we get our food, and my friend's like hysterical. She's crying. She's like, fuck that bitch. You know, she's just going crazy. Like I said, the solar plexus energy was high. We're all young and we're all stupid. And she's like, fuck this bitch. And like, she grabs the food. And I'll be honest, the first thing I'm thinking is like, can we still eat these? I'm like, can I still eat my chicken nuggets? That's all I want to know. Did y'all motherfuckers spit in my shit? I got the barbecue sauce and the sweet and sour, and I just want to know, can I still eat these chicken nuggets? Like, I was borderline a little cautious. I still eat them. I am not going to lie. I still eat my chicken nuggets. But anyway, so she drives up and we drive around, and then we drive out of the drive-thru and we see TL, Toxic Libra. And he's like, I just remember his aura just looks so nasty. And he just looked fucking nasty. Like, he always was nasty to me. And I was like, ugh. Like, that's, me as the best friend of her. I've never liked him. I've never, ever liked him. And I was like, excuse me, get out of the way, because she's hella pregnant. She jumps out the car. She's crying. She's yelling at him. And he's just basically like, girl, I told you what it was. I didn't want to be with you no more. Like, just fucking toxic, rude. The fact that she's pregnant with his baby, no conscious process at all, just disgusting. And I just remember looking at him and looking at her, and I was like, I hope, God, I pray to God, a love like that don't ever fucking find me. That's all I gotta say. I mean, trust me, I've been through some shit too, but for a man to cheat on his pregnant wife, there's a nice little comfortable place for you. And some might call it hell, some might call it karma, some might call it my raft. But let me just tell you. And yes, we were both young. Yes, we were all young. But I was just like, so blown away. So that is an example of a toxic Libra man. Now, they are at their best with their partners who value emotional honesty. But still, there are times they might be a little bit of liars. So look for that mutual respect. Libras tend to get away with compatible signs. They really get along good with some compatible signs. These are the signs that they happen to be compatible with. And what's very interesting is now that I look back at it, because I knew everybody's zodiac. You have to remember, I've been doing this astrology shit for a very long time. Back then, I knew her zodiac, knew his zodiac. I remember, oh God, Libra. And this was like, I don't know, this had to be like almost 30 years ago, right? Because I was like, maybe, no, this had to be like 32 years ago, because I wasn't even 18 yet. I was like 16 when all this occurred, because she was pregnant when I was still, she was pregnant. I remember she was a year older than me. And I still remember she was a Taurus, which you would think the Venus would bring them together, but absolutely not. So compatible signs, Libras are compatible with Geminis, Aquariuses, Leo, and Sagittarius. Interesting. Challenging signs, Cancer, Capricorn, and Pisces. And I'm going to throw out Taurus too, because those two, that was one of my first zodiac relationships that I really got a presence of, where I was like, ooh, you fools do not belong together. Do not take them back. And she did. She did take him back. I mean, eventually it didn't work out and they split, but she did take him back after that. And sometimes you have to live through love and live through it. The Libra energy, Libras in the world as an air sign, they definitely rule fashion. And what's also interesting is Libras are known for being like millionaires and billionaires. Like there's a lot of famous Libras and not so famous Libras who are millionaires and billionaires. They rule over art, fashion, design, social justice. Libras often shine in their careers. So a lot of times Libras are hard workers. They're diplomatic. They have like exquisite taste. Most Libras, right? I would definitely say like a Libra rising has good taste. A sun in Libra is a fail. So a fall, I mean. So we'll talk about that, not a fail. Don't come for me, Libras. Communication skills. They're present, but they can still be passive aggressive. Libras do good at public relations, law, beauty, and the arts. Now, the Libra rules the kidneys and the lower back and the skin. This reflects their area of purification and balance. Now, sometimes you could see Libras have back pain, also maybe have some kidney issues. And what's also interesting is one of the girls that I know who is a Libra, she actually had scoliosis. So she had to have surgery and everything. And there is an energy of what doesn't serve them, they will release. So they definitely use this energy through filtering where their kidneys kind of get like overworked, maybe some people would say. The planetary areas of the Libra, we definitely see Venus as their ruler. So Venus likes being in Libra. It's natural. It feels good there. They express love and energy of harmony, and their artsy-fartsy ease comes so natural. Sometimes the Libra suns can have some challenges. They might feel uncertain. Libras may struggle with self-assertion or decision-making. It is seen as a fall. It is seen as where there could be some energy of challenges with the Libra and decision making. Like an undecisive Libra, you're like, just choose. But it's like they're trying to weigh out all their options. Mars is a detriment in Libra, which is very interesting because Mars as a detriment takes the energy of action and confrontation. that can feel very uncomfortable. And Libras prefer more of like a persuasive versus than an aggression, where Mars kind of has that aggressive, that spontaneous, that fire element. And you think about fire and air together, it would seem like a challenge. Saturn has an escalation, which brings structure and fairness. Libra's sense of justice and commitment thrives with Saturn. I could definitely see like a Saturn in Libra being very structured, being very rooted, and being very grounded in areas of commitment, responsibility, and requirements. Now let's talk about some of these famous Libras. So Cardi B is a Libra. And what's interesting is Cardi B like released her album right around Libra season, like nearly on the start of Libra season. I believe right before Libra season on September 19th, she released her album. Her album then definitely made all these sparks and controversy, and just people were buying it up. They loved it, and she did quite well. So Cardi B is known for being bold, outspoken, socially magnetic, definitely having that presence of her. And seeing like, you could see with Cardi, like she's kind of trying to balance like motherhood, life, and everything together with her professional career. Another famous Libra, Kim Kardashian, October 21st. She embodied the area of that Venus archetype, glamour, art, influence. Kim is known for her appearance, and some would even say her personality, especially in the beginning of her career. But most of the time, people like to talk about what Kim's wearing, what's going on in her family life, and some of that. But for actual work or talent, not so much, more about her appearance. And she kind of has like this glamorous fashion art influence over everybody. And she definitely like made her mark during the energy of the social media platforms breaking through. So she is the original social media influencer, is Kim Kardashian. Will Smith, he's charismatic. He's a balanced communicator. What's also interesting about Will Smith is we saw that energy kind of get very explosive, right? He went from being passive aggressive to full on aggressive at the Oscars when he punched Chris Rock for talking about his wife. You know, he saw it as a joke, but Will Smith definitely did not. Gwen Stefani, she is a Libra, fashion forward, creative Libra archetype. We definitely see that there's some controversy about her because she's now considered very conservative, and she's now considered like a very much somebody who used her appearance and used that beautiful archetype to, some people say, create some movement of success. You know, a lot of people thought that maybe Gwen Stefani really appreciated like the Chola culture, but some people are saying no, she just used it for her benefit. So there's definitely been some talk about Gwen Stefani lately. Bruno Mars, he definitely seems romantic. He definitely seems flirtatious. Is Bruno Mars married? I feel like he isn't. Impeccable style, a smooth voice, seems very like somebody that the crowd loves, right? He's known for being a good-looking guy, being able to sing. So traditionally, the Libra energy, I keep saying Leo. I think it's because Leo and Libra kind of hold a same resemblance in some way. Even if they are not traditionally perfect, that energy of something that feels balanced and magnetic comes forward. Their face features, when we look at Leos, they tend to be a little bit soft, symmetrical face features, heart-shaped oval face sometimes. I would definitely say you would see that with a Libra rising. Bright, charming eyes. Their eyes tend to smile at you. Balanced, well-defined lips. Body type, well-portioned, and even weight distribution. Skin and style. They definitely have like a glowing skin and radiated kind of aura. So you tend to kind of feel the energy of the Libra. The Libras, I would say, definitely take up a lot of space in entertainment. There's definitely a lot of famous Libras. And let's talk about some of the toxic traits of the Libras real quick. So Libras are known for being people pleasers, people pleasing. They have a fear of disharmony and rejection. Venus makes them crave connection. So sometimes they lose themselves trying to make other people happy. For a Libra, they need to learn to be at true peace instead of seeking obsessiveness, acceptance. And even if there is a little bit of conflict, it's rather more peaceful to have that energy of conflict being diminished. They can be a little indecisive, so there's energies around trust that really needs to be focused on. And sometimes they must be aligned with the energy of not just sound and the energy of the solar plaques, which you would kind of see around the back and the kidneys, but also with the throat chakra and the energy of the sound chakra, which is seen as the air element of breath, and the heart chakra. So they can be seen as superficial. So the Libras need to understand that there's more than just aesthetic. There is the realness. And I think that's why people like Cardi B, is because she has that realness, and understanding that the Venus ideals of love and seeing potential sometimes isn't reality. So sometimes the Libras need to see love as a practice and not a performance, to understand, to have a true integration of love. It comes with knowing that there is a balance and also a harmony that lives within both individuals. So I want to thank everybody for listening to this podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know, are you a Libra? Are there any Libras in your life? Don't forget to share this podcast with your witchy bestie. Bye.